Buenos días chicos, espero que estén muy pero muy bien allá en casa. Hoy les traigo un tema muy divertido y muy interesante. Y súper sencillo. Sí, así que empecemos. But first, what can we see in this image? We can see a woman, a kid, a broken vase, a dog, and a cat. And the mother asks, who has broken the vase? Was it the kid? Was it the dog? Was it the cat? We don't know, right? It could have been the kid, or maybe the cat, or maybe the dog. But why not the mother? Because she's angry, and she is the one who asks, who has broken the vase? This tense, this question, is in the simple present, simple past, past continuous, simple present continuous, or present progressive or present continuous, or in the present perfect. Perfect. This is the present perfect of a question. Why? Why, teacher? Why is it the present perfect? Because we have has broken, your auxiliary plus your verb in the past participle form, like this. Have who has broken the vase. Has. This is your auxiliary plus your past participle verb. Your auxiliary plus your past participle verb. As simple as that. Now, the present perfect. Let's move on to talk about the form of the present perfect. The present perfect tense is formed by two things: the auxiliary verb have and has. Now, this is something easy. When do we use have? Or first has? When our subjects are he, she, it. And when do we use have, teacher? Well, if has is used with he, she, it, so have will be used with the remaining subjects. When our subjects are I, you, we, they, right? Perfect. So has is used with he, she, it, and have is used with I, you, we, they. Perfect. Now, we can use it in affirmative, which means positive, or negative, and questions. And now, the past participle form of a verb. What does that mean? We know that, for example, present, past, and past participle. For example, the verb drink in the past. How do we say drink in the past? Drunk. And how do we say drink in the past participle? Drunk. Okay? Drink, drunk, drunk. This is easy. But why, teacher? Why does it change? Because this verb is irregular. this verb is irregular. But what would happen with the verb wait in the past? We said waited, and in the past participle, teacher, we also say waited. But why? Why does it not change? Because this verb is regular. Irregular and regular. Now, regular verbs. When we talk about regular verbs, these are verbs which form the doesn't change in the past or past participle. For example, work, work it, work it. For example, work, worked, and worked. And irregular verb, teacher? These are verbs which form changes in the past and in the past participle. For example, we have eat, ate, and eating. But teacher, I know one verb who doesn't change the form in the past participle. And I'm talking about buy. Buy in the simple past is the same as in the past participle. Bought. Buy, bought, bought. And that's correct. But buy is still a irregular verb. Why? Because his form changed from the simple present. From buy to bought and bought. When the form changes in the simple past, it automatically becomes a irregular verb. In this case, work, worked, and worked is regular because the form doesn't change. Like this, work, work, and work. But in this case, eat, ate, eaten. Irregular, buy, bought, but irregular. Right? Perfect. For example, she has worked in that office for 6 years. The auxiliary and the past participle. Here we have more examples. I have already eaten breakfast. She has seen that movie. We have dealt with customers for many years. In these examples, the past participle has an irregular form, just like the list you've been studying. For example, Eaten. Seen, dealt. Past participle. Why? Because the form changes. And now, this is easy. I think that you already know what this is. This is regular verbs, right? Why? Because we have ed or the ending. When we have ed like this or the ending, this is automatically a regular verb. She has used a cash register before. He has worked for that company since May. We have already served the food. In these examples, the past participle has a regular form and looks like the simple past tense, but it is not. Yes, we have to be careful here. For example, simple past. Okay, simple past. What is the structure of simple past? We have our subject plus our verb in the simple past plus our complement. Right? Perfect. But what would happen in the present perfect? What is the structure, teacher? Alright, that is easy. The structure is, for example, in this case, we have our subject plus have or has plus your verb in the past participle plus your complement. This have or has is the auxiliary. And depending on your subject, it's gonna define what you are going to do or which one you are going to use. For example, I have I. Should I use have or has? Have, right? If I have she, have or has? Has. If I have you, have or has? Have. If I have they, has or have? Have. If I have it, have or has? Has. Perfect. Depending on the subject, you're gonna use have or has, and your verb will always be in the past participle. For example, I have seen, or she has watched, or you have done, or they have washed, or it has broken. Right? Perfect. So let's move on to the contractions. This is easy because this is another way to use the subject plus your auxiliary. For example, I have, I've, I haven't. I have and I've is totally the same. This is just a contracted form, like this. For example, I have eaten or I have had lunch. Why had, teacher? Because this is the past participle form of have. Now, it's the same as saying I've had lunch. I have had lunch. I've had lunch. It's the same. But we can't use contractions when talking in the negative form. Why, teacher? Why, teacher? Because it's like this. I have not, or I haven't watched TV. I, for example, haven't watched TV. This is correct, but this in this case is incorrect. Why? Because this is already a contraction. It is a contraction. What do you mean, teacher? That haven't is the same as have not. This is the contraction of this. Haven't, have not. From have not to haven't. That's why we can't use this construction. This is incorrect. Okay, guys? So let's continue. We have you have, you've, you haven't. We have, we haven't. They have, she has, he has, she has, and it has. They've, his, she's, it's. They haven't, he hasn't, she hasn't, and it hasn't. I have lived in Florida for 2 years. I've lived in Florida for 2 years. Both sentences are correct. Are you ready, guys? What is it used for? Do you have any idea of what the present perfect is used for? We use the present perfect to talk about a completed action in the past at an unspecified time. What does it mean, teacher? I'm lost. Relax, relax, take it easy. To talk about completed past actions at a specific time. For example, I went to the bank. This is the simple past, right? But what do we need to use the simple past? We need a time. In this case, I went to the park. But when? Yesterday. I went to the bank yesterday. Simple past. Why? Because we have the time. But if I say I have gone to the bank, this is gonna be the present perfect. Why? I know that I went to the bank, but when? There is no time. I don't remember. It could have been yesterday, it could have been a week ago, it could have been a month ago, but I went to the bank, right? We use this, we use the present perfect when we don't know the time of the completed action. Because I have already gone to the bank, but I don't know when. I have no time. It could have been a month ago, right? So, the present perfect is used when we don't know the time. When we don't know the time. Perfect. Let's continue. I have already eaten breakfast. Or she has seen that movie before. But when did it happen? We don't know exactly when it happened. Or we do. No, right? It could have been, I don't know, his breakfast at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. She has seen that movie before. We don't know it. It could have been a week ago. It could have been 3 days ago. It could have been yesterday. But we don't know when she saw that movie. And when we want to talk, to ask a question about something that happened at any time before, we say, have you ever? Well, we are going to make questions. This is going to be our structure. For example, questions structure. We have our auxiliary, which are, what are our auxiliaries? Do, does, may, might, have, has. Perfect. Have or has. Plus your subject plus ever plus your verb in and the past participle form, right? Plus your complement. For example, have you ever worked at that job you really love? Has she ever worked at that job she really hated? Have they ever used a cash register? Or have you ever supervised other employees? Or has she ever watched Avengers? Have he or have they ever gone to Playland Park? Or has have you ever created a story? These are examples of how to use or how to create question structure. We have our have and has, which are our auxiliary. Perfect. plus our subject plus Eva. Remember, this is important. Why? Because if we don't have this, we don't have questions. And the verb in the past participle form plus their complement. And now, the short answer is yes, I have, or if you haven't, no, I haven't. And for singular, yes, she has, no, she hasn't. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. You will have a homework, but as a way of practice, okay? I need you to do that paper I send you, that worksheet, okay? It's easy. You will have this class, you will have the PowerPoints. You don't have to worry about it. I can also help you, and it's okay. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will see you as soon as possible. Bye bye.